did y'all have to adjust things for this morning?
Just going indoors. Just took out a couple kicking game things that we were going to work on outside that I wanted to make sure we had the full field and the right film to watch after practice. But most of the stuff, that's all we really changed.
You said today was maybe the final day of some installation stuff. Was that this morning?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow is?
Yeah, there's one more installation, but we kind of leave. We give the guys a day to digest it. So we teach one day, and then we install it one day, and then teach that day and the next day before we do a final installation. So it'll be tomorrow.
How much, you've been here a couple of years now, and guys that have been in the program with you, how much smaller is that learning curve when you do the installation period with some of the older guys?
With the older guys, it goes pretty quick. They kind of know it. So you're looking for them to take the next step of how they're utilizing it and how they're managing it. And how they're applying their fundamentals out there on the field, not just, with the scheme. Are we better fundamentally within the scheme with the older guys? So that's what you look for.
You look at your defense, you guys always talk about hybrid guys, and Deontay Skinner kind of fits that mold. Guy could play Will maybe for you, also lined up on the line for you. How versatile are a lot of these guys? Maybe name some guys from that are really versatile like that. We want guys to be in that way. Fletcher Cox is one of the most versatile players. I could put him anywhere on the field, probably play corner for us. He's that athletic. I like hybrid guys. But you want winners even more. Charles Mitchell, give me 11 Charles Mitchell. I don't know if anybody'd score on us. But we do. I think there's guys that create mismatches. We move Fletcher Cox inside, outside, move him all over the place, creates mismatches. Some linebackers that potentially could move down to an end that create mismatch on offense. Guys like Brandon Hill and Malcolm Johnson that are receivers that can play tight end, and Ladarius Perkins is a running back that can play receiver. Chad Bumphus can play anywhere on the offense. He can play quarterback. He throws as good as most our guys do. And then he can play running back, receiver, all that stuff. So, when you look at those guys, I just think, we want to create mismatches on the field, and guys that can do multiple things have the ability to create mismatches. Do you feel like that more teams are starting to do that across the nation, or do you guys feel like you're still ahead of the curve there?
I have no idea.
Do you see when you're scheming and watching tape of teams and doing that more and more? Or?
Yeah, but that was a couple years ago. That was, I think after 2004 at Utah, everybody kind of went to put a lot of this stuff in. So, I think it's the spread offense is probably run. As you keep looking down the ranks, high school football, it's a major offense in high school football now. It's in college, and then you watch the NFL guys run a lot of the stuff that we put in, 8, 9, 10 years ago.
Who are some guys at Utah that move around, just real quick?
Ben Moa could move all over the place. For us, that was a mismatch guy, Parrish Warren. We'd snap the ball to him at quarterback and do some of those things. Those are the type of guys, but we had the running backs, in Quinton Ganther, Marty Johnson, that we could move around and do almost anything with. John Madsen. I think he's tight end for the Raiders, but it was in the NFL for a while and was a receiver for us, like a big receiver that we could do things with.
Does that stick out in recruiting with guys that maybe that's why they get a little bit more interested in Mississippi State because of that opportunity?
I think the way that we spread the ball around, we have all different ways to put the ball into your hands. So I think for, a kid that looks and says, okay, well, I'm a receiver, and they only throw the receivers this many times a game. You come play for us. We might hand it to you, pitch it to you, line you up at quarterback, snap it to you. There's a lot of different ways we can utilize you, and I think, those are the type of offense kids want to play. You recruit those skilled athletes. They don't come to just block. They want the ball in their hands. So that's what makes our offense attractive to a lot of talented athletes.
Talk about you obviously. Hannah Rand's gone. Talk about what you've seen at the fullback position so far with those three guys.
Well, you got, Sylvester Hempel, is a guy with experience that's, played a bunch, and so I feel comfortable with him. Adrian Marcus, I think, is another guy that is that way. I think those guys, maybe they give you a little more athleticism than Hannah Rand had last year, that you can put the ball in their hands. They're kind of hybridish that way. I don't mind seeing the ball in those guys' hands. And, and then Shumpert's still coming back. When you have an injury like he had, it's a longer recovery period, not just health-wise, comfort-wise being out there on the field. So, again, he's a powerful athletic fullback that you can hand the ball to. And they're coming along.
In the same vein as Brandon's question, Houston Nutt has said he thinks he has 2 or 3 freshmen that can play both ways for him this year. What is your philosophy on that? And if a kid says, "Hey, Coach, I think I can help you on the other side of the ball," what would be your plan for that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I do it a ton with freshmen because I like to develop players. Like, I don't just depend on freshmen for us to win football games. Right. But for us, as guys go in their career, I don't mind moving them around on both sides of the ball. If we have a guy that's a talented athlete that can help you or make you better on the other side of the ball, I think it's great. Defensive players, if we have talented defensive players, find a way to put the ball in their hands if they're special that way. And the same in offensive players. I think the issue is when you have those guys, you want to be a little bit limited in what their role is, or you'll become a master of nothing. Right. I want guys to be a master at one thing, and then if we're going to do another role, they're really good at the other role.
You said you took out some of the stuff from kicking practice this morning since you're indoors. How have they improved since that first day when you said that they weren't very good at all?
They're good. We did PAT field goals a lot today. We did a bunch of them today, and we were good. I think we missed one today in the whole practice. So it was better. Better, improved, and just getting back into the rhythm for those guys and the rhythm of the season. I don't get in a panic about Derek DePasquale. He'll be okay, ready to play.
How did the special teams coach been taking it the last few days with them?
Misses?
Yeah.
That's the same. I don't get panicked for that. They might do a little extra running, but I don't get in a panic just because. It's something we can coach up. We watched it on film. We get a great film of it in angle and just tweak one little correction or something here with him with his balance. He was really off balance, and I think we got that fixed. And when you have a guy that's kicked in the games like that, if they have a bad day and they see they're off balance, they can tweak. It's a real quick tweak and change. It's not a freshman that's kind of wide-eyed and what's wrong. He knows that he can get the job done.
You change anything up today? Since you had to be inside and maybe go outside, do you do something different because you were inside this morning?
You know what? No, when originally we were planning on going outside the whole time, and then the storm kind of just swirled on top of us and stayed. And so kind of had both rushed and grabbed the practice schedules for this morning, this afternoon, and want to make sure anything that we needed to be outside, that I wanted to make sure we're outside. I just bumped back to the afternoon and maybe moved one thing up that we could get done inside to try to balance the practice times off.
Guys, a minute ago, NFL preseason games start tonight. A couple KJ Wright, Pernell McPhee both playing. I think Timmy Tebow, as you call him, is playing this weekend. How much do you keep up with former guys, whether it's talking to them, just watching them and seeing what they're doing?
Oh, I watch and I don't watch because Sunday's not a real good free time day for us, but in football season. But I try to keep up and statistically just check to see if they won or lost a game and how they played. A lot of times it'll be like right before I go to bed late Sunday night or something, I'll try to catch a couple highlights and read the ticker. But, and then a lot more text probably. I guess text is the way all those kids communicate. So text just to see how things are going or motivate them and, and talk to all of them last year. I get text Jamar Chaney before all the games and Anthony Dixon, all those guys. And, I guess probably talk to Alex Smith more than anybody else, former players.
In that vein, were you surprised Green Bay's moving Derek to guard?
I haven't. Right now I'm in preseason camp, so I haven't followed any of that stuff yet.
Okay.